Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world, the world away, and we've now got pack 3 of Agora Models build the Shelby Cobra. Now if there was a theme for pack 3, we've got one tyre in there to build again, but the whole thing is the chassis. We're going to be piecing together the chassis. But before we go into that, I thought I'd just give you an idea of where we're up to and what we did in pack 1 and pack 2. So as you can see, these are all the parts we've got at the moment. We've got the lovely cushion seats here. We've got the bonnet. We completed the bonnet with the catches at either side on the top end of the bonnet there. We've done a couple of exhausts and the manifolds. This was actually done in pack 2, looking just like that. They look really lovely, don't they? We've done one tyre already, which looks just like that. Running out of room now. We've got the roll cage on the driver's side, or the cage that goes behind the driver's seat there. We've also got the steering wheel. Probably best to show you that one on the close-up camera. This is metal. Look at the details in that. And then obviously the big thing we've been working on is the engine, looking just like that. Absolutely amazing making that. We do have one other piece which we haven't put in yet. It's this tiny emblem here that looks just like that, but I've been keeping these all safe just on the shelf up there, and these will go straight back there now because we don't need any of this for this stage. As I said, we're working on the chassis. Now if you like what you see today and you want to get this yourself, I've put the link to Agora Models just down here. Go over to the Agora Models website. You can get this all the way from pack 1. They ship worldwide, but if you're unsure, they do have live online chat as well, or you can get in contact with them. They'll give you advice about getting this delivered to you. It's not just the Shelby Cobra that you can get from Agora Models as well. You've got the Terminator, you've got the Bismarck, you've got the Shelby Super Snake, which is up on my shelf up there, and coming in the new year we've got the Zero Fighter, which I'm really excited about. But in the meantime now we're going to get building pack 3. Let's get cracking. Now as you can see on the side camera there, the first stage that we've got is stage 16. This pack 3 encompasses stages 16 to 23, and the first part we're going to be doing is the left lateral chassis main frame bottom, which is this one here. So we'll get this open, I'll show you what we need to do. This is what it looks like, and as you would expect, all of this is metal, lovely painted black over there. All of these parts here are metal. They're quite heavy as well, so when this full chassis is going to be done, it's going to be quite weighty. And what I will do is, as it gets bigger, I will zoom this top camera up just so you can see everything that we're actually building. So what we need to do is we need to have it seated this way round. We have got some numbers on here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you know it's the left side because I don't know if you can see we've got the little L stamped into the chassis frame there. And the advantage of that is that the pieces that we're going to be putting are also numbered as well. So I've got number 4 here. So number 4 is just going to go over this hole here, next to the number 4, just like that. It's going to be held into place with one of the screws that come in this. These screws are OD05 screws. So I'll put this one in first. Now this is going into metal. Now I do like to have a common practice where if it's going into metal, I like to drop it into some oil. So some oil on the screw there. This is just a regular 3-in-1 oil. And the reason I put that in, it just helps the screw go into the metal. And it helps to cut the thread as well, where the paint is actually inside the actual joint there. But make that as tight as you can get it. Obviously this is going to be supporting the vehicle, so you want that to be lovely and tight and not loose at all, just like that. We're going to do the same on the next one here as well, but the way I'm doing it is that the number for me is facing towards this way. So when I'm putting them in, I'm making sure that the numbers are exactly the same all throughout. So here's the next one here, just going in like that. Again, I've just dropped that in a little bit of oil there, and I'll screw that into place. Now if you're using this technique and you've got oil on your chassis, you don't like the smudge marks on that, the easiest way to get it off is just with some isopropyl alcohol. So that's the easiest way, but I'll just tighten the last of these up now, make sure they're in tight, and that's what they look like when they're in, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So I'm just going to put that over the top there, and we're going to get pack 17 now. Number 17, as you can expect, exactly like pack 16, but now we're doing the right side. So I'll get this open. Now this is what the right hand side one looks like. We don't actually need this at this moment. I'm going to keep it to one side. We're going to bring back the one we've been working on here, which is the left one, because the next two items we've got are labelled number 2 and number 1. And as you can see, number 1's a lot different to what all the others were, because you've got this extra section on here. So once again, we're going to put these in following the technique that we just did there. Another tip when you are building this is to make sure, if you can look at the holes that we've got here, you see you've got 3 holes. Make sure that this one that's closest to the edge is facing the right hand way. You know that because if you've got the numbers facing the way that I'm putting them on here, you're not going to have a problem. So number 2 is going in here now. Exactly the same screws as we used last time, the OD05 ones. So here's that one going in nice and tight there. And then the last one we want to put in is just number 1, which is looking like that. The flap ends here, again, are going in this direction here. So when I put that in, it's going to look just like that. So once again, put a screw in here and screw that all the way down. And there you go, they're all into place there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring over the right hand side one, and we're going to match the numbers off exactly like we had here. So this is number 4, this was number 1. So on here we've got number 4 at this end, number 1 at this end. So this is just going to go on the top like that. And we're going to be piecing every single one of these together with the OD05 screws in the 4 holes that we've got here. So once again, I'm going to drop these into some oil and we'll get this attached. I'll put in number 2 first. And I think you can see straight away how quick this chassis is starting to grow. I think I'll put number 4 in there. There's no rhyme or reason at all of the order I'm putting these in. As long as you've got all of these in the right way, you can't go wrong. So here's number 3. And finally, we'll just put the last one in there in number 1. And once this is all the way in, just like that, it's now looking just like that from this side, that from that side, and that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 18, we've got the front suspension support, which is this cross section here. So we'll get this open and I'll show you how we fit this. So these are the parts that we've got in this one. The first part we're going to need is this one here, which is a cross member, and it's numbered 4. So it's going to give us an idea where we're actually putting this. So I'm going to bring over where we've been working on before, and this is basically going to be going just over the top of this section like that. We're going to be screwing this down once again with OD05 screws. So here's the first one, nice and tight. Now just take my advice that I am putting all of these in oil, but when I do edit the video you might not see that every time, but trust me, every screw I'm putting into metal I've put in oil. So there we go, that's that part in. Now we could put that to one side because we're going to be working on the front suspension support. We've got these 2 details to put on here, and there is a left and a right side to this support. Now if you're unsure what they are, if you look at the bottom of it here, you've got an L and an R. So I'm going to keep the L to my left hand side here. And just like these details here, that one's got an R on it and this one's got an L. So just make sure we put them on the right one. Knowing that this one's the left side, I'm going to be putting this detail with the hole there just on top of the lug so that this flat section here is facing the top of the support here. So I'll put that in just like this. It's not going to need glue. But that's the first one in, like that. We're going to do the same on the other side here. Just like that. And when they're in, they should look just like that. And what with that section and that section we've just completed there, that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 19, we're doing the left lateral chassis mainframe top section. So I'm going to get this out the bag. And once again, we've got more OD05 screws. That's all we're using in this one, the OD05 screws. And all we're going to do is we're going to take the suspension support here with the left side, so make sure we've got the L side here. It's going to go into these two lugs you can just see at the top of this support here, just like that. It's going to be secured from the underside with two OD05 screws. So I'm holding that into place with my hand. I have already put a little bit of oil on the screw there, and I'll get this nice and tight in here. That's the first one in. And here's the second one. And when that's in, just like that, this is getting really heavy, that's all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 20, looking like this, it's the right lateral chassis mainframe top section. Now I'll tell you now, it looks like every single item that we're working on in this pack is metal, which is why probably when you do get this delivered to you, if you are collecting this, you're going to wonder why it's so heavy, and that's the reason why. But in a complete mirror to what we did last time here, where that's looking like that, once again we're going to lie this flat with the round section facing up, and this is just going to go into the two holes that we can see on this side. So that's now holding the full front suspension in there. Just push that back down, make sure that's in, and I'm going to secure this once again from the underside with the OD05 screws. So here's the first one. I'm not putting these in too tight, I just want enough in there just to hold these into place. And here's the second one here. And now I can tighten them fully up. There we go, they're not going nowhere, very secure they are. And then quite simply what we're going to do is we're going to bring this part over here and we're going to marry them together, which is going to be quite good. Let me zoom this camera out a touch, just so you can see the full length of that here. So this is going to be going on top just like this, and we're going to be securing this in with 6 holes. So we've got 2 up the top here, we've got 2 in the middle here, we've got 2 down this end here. So I'll start getting those screwed in. That's the first one there. I think we'll do the one at the top here. Again, there's not really any rhyme nor reason of what order I'm doing these in, but I do want them to sort of be even all around, so I'm trying to be methodical about where I'm putting them. So I think I'll put one just in the other side here now. Just like that. Then we'll go down this end here. Which means I've just got 2 more screws to put in, which are just in these sections in the middle here. Here's the last one. And now that's into place. And then we've just got these cross members in the middle just to complete off here now. So I'm just going to look up what numbers we've got. We've got number 2 here. We've got number 3. So we'll put number 3 in first. They're just going to go on the top like that. Once again, 2 OD05 screws into the holes there. That's the first one. And here's the second one. I'm very quiet when I'm screwing in. It's in one way it's calming, but in another way it's me concentrating. Otherwise, if I don't do that, I will forget to put a screw in. I know what I'm like. Okay, one more screw to put in. Just into this hole here, and there we go. Just looking at that now, oh my god, it's heavy. It's really heavy, looking like that. If I just show you what it looks like when I'm holding it, it gives you an idea of size. But yeah, looking absolutely brilliant. That's all there is to do in that stage. So I'm going to put that to one side. Stage 21 now. We've got the rear chassis part and the wishbone mounting. So once again, this is what the rear chassis part looks like. It's all metal, it's quite heavy. It's just going to go into this area that we can see here, which is going to cover up the rest of that frame there. So I'll get them in now. One here. Make sure that's secured really tight down. And one just on the other side here. And then just the two at the back. And then what we want to do is we want to turn this over, because we've got the wishbone assembly to put in, and this is the way round it should be. It shouldn't be this way round, it should be this way round here, and this is just going to go onto the end just like that. And once again, that's going to be secured in with two OD05 screws. They're going to be into the inner holes that you see here. So these, just line that up again, they're going to be going into these holes here. So I'm going to put the first one in, but not too tight. And here's the second one, just on this side. Tighten them up completely. That's the first one. That's the second one. And if I turn that over now, that is what the chassis is looking like. Probably better on the side camera there. And that's all we're going to be working on in the chassis in this pack, because the next stages we're going to be working on the wheel. But I'm sure you'll agree, once again, if I just show you this against me so you can get an idea of scale, pretty impressive. Now stage 22, we're going to be working on the outer and inner rim here for the wheel. And all we're going to do, as you can see, we've got the four holes in there. We're going to line the lugs up on this side just into those holes there. We want to make sure when we put this in that this section is facing upwards to us. So this goes in just like that there. And we're securing that in with OP03 screws. There's no need for oil on this because those screws are going into plastic. So it just needs 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, and lastly number 4. There we go, and that's what that looks like there. And on the other side there, I do like how you got the little valve in there, just an extra detail there. And that's all there is to do in that penultimate stage. And now in stage 23, we're just going to put the rest of the rim together and we're going to put the wheel on. So I've got Mrs. Welder Wayne currently boiling me a kettle and filling up a mixing bowl for me. So once again, I can show you how I put those tyres on. But what we'll do, we'll just take the section we put together last time. We're just going to marry this up with this section here, just like that. And once again, 4 screws to keep all of this into place. So here's the first one. Obviously, when you put these bits together, you should have no gaps around the outside. It's not like you're going to see it anyway, but obviously you want to make sure this is fitting perfectly flat and flush and exactly how it's meant to be, because you don't want your tyre to be warped. But here's the last screw going in now. Just like that. So now that looks just like that. Now, where's Mrs. Welder Wayne? And here she is. Thank you very much.
It's really hot, it's going to burn your hands.
Okay. Very good. That's perfect. This is boiling water. Thank you. And what we're going to do, I'm going to just put the wheel in there. I'm going to let that soak for about 30 seconds, making sure that's completely covered there. No problems at all. I've got a cloth here, or it's actually a bandana. Put that just to one side, and I'm going to fish it out with my duckbill pliers here. So what we're going to do, we're going to fish out the wheel, push it around here, mold it into space, and then dry it off. And as we're drying it, it's going to condense back and be nice and firm again. So just going to give that about another 10 seconds. There we go, that should be long enough. So we'll fish this out, And we'll put this straight on. It should be quite easy to manipulate around here. Pushing it all the way through. All down, all the way around. Make sure it's done on the other side. And it's as simple as that, really. Just going to put this just to one side there. Just so you can see what this looks like when it's done. Drying it completely. And there we go. That is the finished wheel. So now that matches the other wheel that we had done before. Looking just like that. And then with this and the chassis frame that we've been working on, that is the end of pack 3. So that one was a little bit simpler than the pack 1s and 2s that we've done, but this is one of the pivotal parts of the build. So this is the quality. This is where you need the metal, because you're going to be supporting the whole vehicle off the chassis we're building. It's a little unusual. I've never seen a chassis piece together. It's normally been in one piece, but believe me, this is structurally sound, as you can see in here, and it's really heavy as well, but it's starting to look really good, isn't it? So there we go. Now listen, if you want to get this for yourself, once again, I've put the link to the agoramodels.com website down there. You can go over to this and you can subscribe from pack 1, and as I said, it is available worldwide. But I really do hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.